In this lesson, we'll go over multiplying and dividing rational expressions. So we'll apply our knowledge of fractions to rational expressions, and then we'll correctly multiply, divide, and simplify these expressions. So recall, working with fractions. So rational expressions, when you hear the word rational in math, you want to think of fractions. So the same rules that apply to fractions apply to rational expressions. So for instance, when we multiply fractions, let's say 2/3 times 5/9, we multiply straight across 2 times 5 over 3 times 9 to give us 10/27. So when we multiply rational expressions, we'll multiply straight across. When we divide, let's say 1/2 divided by 2/3, we keep the first fraction, change the sign to multiplication, and flip the second fraction. So this becomes 1/2 times 3/2, and then we end up with 3/4. And then a note on canceling or simplifying. Let's say we have x minus 2/2. Now typically, sometimes we see people canceling the 2's out, but we can't do that unless it comes out of everything. So something like this is very different than if we had 2 times x minus 2/2. Now the 2's would cancel because of the multiplication there. So multiplying and dividing rational expressions. So first we'll want to factor because that will determine what we can cancel. We'll perform the operation and make sure that our answer is as simplified as possible. Now a note on simplifying. If we have something like 5/25, 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. So this becomes 1/5. Okay, usually one of the mistakes is to say that this is equal to 5, which is not. That would be 25/5. Okay, so be careful when you're canceling. Technically, when things cancel or cross out, there's a 1 left there, so it doesn't just become nothing. Multiply. Simplify your answer as much as possible. So we're going to first start with factoring, and we're going to look at each portion. So the 4x plus 8, the x plus 5, the 7x plus 35, and the 8x plus 16. And factor what we can. In this case, since there's no x squareds, we're not doing the double parentheses, we'll be looking for a greatest common factor. So between 4x and 8, 4 is the greatest common factor, and we're left with x plus 2, divided by x plus 5, still multiplication. With 7x and 35, the greatest common factor is 7. We have x plus 5, divided by, we can take out an 8, and we're left with plus 2. Now let's see what can cancel out. We have x plus 5 and x plus 5. We have x plus 2 and x plus 2. Okay, and we also have a 4 and an 8. So we can divide each of those by 4. If we divide by 4, we would get 1. If we would divide by 4, we get 2. Okay, so now what we have left is 1/1 times 7/2, which becomes 1 times 7 over 1 times 2 to get 7/2 as our final answer. Multiply. Simplify your answer as much as possible. So again, we're going to factor everything. With x squared minus 4x plus 3, you would look for two numbers that multiply to give you 3 and add to give you -4. So we have x minus 3, x minus 1, divided by x plus 1 times x plus 2 over, with 4x and minus 4, we can take out a 4, and we'd have x minus 1 left. Okay, so here the only things that can cancel are the x minus 1's. So now what we have is x minus 3 over x plus 1 times x plus 2 over 4. Now remember that when we multiply straight across, we're multiplying everything together. So this becomes x minus 3 over x plus 2 over x plus 1 times 4. Okay. If you wanted to multiply this out, you can. You can put the 4 in front, or you can distribute the 4 to give 4x plus 4, but the 4 has to be multiplied to both terms in the denominator of the other fraction. Divide. Simplify your answer as much as possible. So when we divide fractions, we keep the first one. We change the sign to multiplication, and we flip the second one. Okay, and so now we'll factor. Over, we can take out a 9 times 2x minus 5 over 2 times x minus 2. Okay. So again, we see what can cancel. X minus 2, x minus 2, 2x minus 5, 2x minus 5, and the 2 can go into 8 4 times. So what we have left is 2 over 9, really times 1 over 1, which just gives us 2 over 9. Thank you for watching. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me.